Hey folks, welcome back to Abundant Life Homestead. As you can probably tell, we've been fighting the wind almost every day in the videos lately, and that's just something we can't control. I'm going to do my best to keep the microphone out of the wind, but if I don't, you'll just have to forgive me. Kind of makes me miss having a shop. I used to have one, is right here on this cement pad where we've been working, but you can probably tell by the materials laying around and the weeds growing up, that shop came crashing down. I'll have another one day, but it just hasn't been in the books lately. So we're continuing on with maintenance on my Kubota B7100 HST-D. Last time we put the backhoe subframe back on, we grabbed the bucket so we could rewire our auxiliary lights. Today we're going to head more in that direction, but I'm not going to quite make it to the electricity today. I think that's going to deserve its own video. What we're going to do today is we're going to pull the steering wheel off, we're going to pull the dash panel or tower cover off, and while I'm in this area I'm going to go ahead and pull my cruise control off, since it's really unnecessary to me. So let's get started. Okay, first thing we're going to do is disconnect the battery. Now normally doing any work in this area, all we'd really need to do is remove the negative battery cable, but I've got all this stuff here from the auxiliary lights. I'm going to rip it all out so that I've just got one line running down there. So we're going to take both battery cables off, take the bolts out of them. This is at least on my post, this is a 1/2 inch. These are old and been on there a while. Yeah, that one came off pretty quick. If I'd have thought about it, I bought new felt for the battery post, but I didn't. Kind of helps keep it from getting corroded, especially if you put some felt down and put some dielectric grease on it, or sometimes these things come pre-soaked with something that's very similar to a dielectric grease. Spread it out there a little bit. It's kind of stuck on that post. Might need a little more. There we go. I'll just stick this up here for now. There, now nobody's getting shocked today. Okay, now we're going to pop the steering wheel off. Plastic cover's just got springs on it. You might need a screwdriver. It's got a little spot to stick a screwdriver and pry it, but this one's so old it just pops right off. Nut on the inside, I believe, was an 18mm. Shouldn't be on there super tight. I know mine's not, because I replaced my entire steering shaft and gearbox about 5 or 6 years ago. Take those off. Then I'm going to grab a jaw puller. Now this is a little difficult. This isn't sized quite right to use a regular jaw puller. You can get a steering wheel puller that's got a disc with a slot cut out that goes under, and then the jaw puller grabs that. I don't have one of those. I've managed to take the steering wheel off 3 or 4 times with this jaw puller, so hopefully we'll get it attached today. If not, I'll grab a bigger one. Maybe we can get it with that. Grab a bigger jaw puller just in case. Oh, we slipped. Alright, try the bigger one. Heck, I should have started with this one. Looks like it'll go in there real nice. There we go. That's going to be a little bigger. It might be 18. Yep, it's going to be an 18 millimeter as well. There we go, broke loose. Once you got her loose, you should just be able to lift it off. Set her off to the side. Okay, so down in here, your wiring harness, pull it out a little bit. You got this big white one here and a black and yellow. Separate the black and yellow. Separate the wiring harness plug. This is just going to allow you to lift that dash panel off without dragging any wires. And we've got 4 bolts around the steering shaft here. These are all 12 millimeter. I just dropped the washer, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. It's on there. Got one down there somewhere. Now the only thing that should be still connected is our decompression knob. And you can undo that back there at the engine if you want. Or you can just slide your panel off the steering shaft here. And when we get to working on it, we'll just do it all right here. Okay, so I think I changed my mind here. I was originally going to leave the decompression cable attached and just work on the dash panel right here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and release this cable so that I can take the whole dash panel over to the table. Not a difficult job to do. Pair of needle nose, 8mm wrench, and a flathead screwdriver. And start down on this end of the cable. It's got a cinch here. The flathead screwdriver, turn it a few times, pop it off, then on this side, 8mm nut. You might need the pliers to hold the back side of the cable on. There we go. I'll slide the nut back down on here and put this cinch back on here just so we don't lose it. Now we'll just be able to take the whole dash panel over to the table. Okay, so now I'm going to be pulling off this cruise control. There's no real instructions for disassembling this in any of the service manuals, but looks like if I pull two nuts off of this end, I can slide this shaft out and take the whole handle. This pivot right here has just got a pin in it. This rod here just got a pin in it, and the lower end of the rod looks like it's got a pin in it. These 14mm bolts shouldn't need anything on this side. That should hold while I unscrew them. These are under spring pressure though, so I don't know how much tension is going to be left in that spring when I get these off here. They may come flying at me. Yeah, well, there's one. Here's the second one. The shaft pops right off. Looks like there's several nylon bushings inside of here. And pull those out. Oh, I dropped one. There's about 4 nylon bushings there. Let me go grab that one. Now this kind of stuff I will generally always just put it back together and put it in my tractor parts. That way if and when I ever get rid of the tractor, if somebody wants to restore it, they will get all the original parts with the sale. Not that I'm ever going to sell it. This thing's been my workhorse. But you never know. My kids might want to sell it one day, and I'll make sure they know that the box of tractor parts go with it. Okay, so for this pivot, this shaft, it looks like all we've got is a cotter pin. It'll be difficult to get to because of the steering shaft here, but there we go. So I'll just pop this out maybe. Maybe not. Doesn't seem too interested in taking off. If I can get up in there with this. Say that thing is corroded up in there. I won't try too hard. I don't want to damage it. For the same reason that I save all the parts. I don't want to damage anything on there. So we may just leave that piece on. Figured it ain't gonna show, it ain't gonna be in the way. I just figured I'd take it off to reduce any possible rattle. Yeah, it ain't gonna budge. Alright. We will put the washer and cotter pin back on that one. This isn't holding anything that's going to do any work, and it looks like if the pin snaps, it still ain't going to come out. So we'll just bend that old pin right back there and leave it. So this shaft, this rod, looks like it'll be a heck of a lot easier to get out. Maybe. Only thing holding it back is a tight space here. There we go, just tiny little cotter pin in that. And a washer. Now we'll see if we can even see it from up underneath. Might be one of those spots I have to go in blind. Alright, I can't get it to focus on here, but if you look, the hole, that hole right there, that rod coming down, it's got a connection behind this drive shaft that's pretty much the same as what we just had on top. I'm going to get a hold of that and get it disconnected and meet you back up there. Okay, well that took an awful lot of effort for something that wasn't exactly necessary to do. I did finally get that little cotter pin and washer off. So now it looks like, let's pull this and turn it. There you go, the cruise control rod comes out. No wonder it didn't work too well. All wallered out down here, bent up here. The way that's wallered out, you can tell it does a lot of vibrating down in there, and that's one thing I said I wanted to get rid of, was some of the vibration noise. Yeah, I'm not going to put that back in there, but put these pieces back on, and these will go to the parts box. Well, there you have it, folks. A little shorter today, but that's alright. We pulled the steering wheel, we pulled the dash panel, we pulled the cruise control. I'm going to start getting set up for working on the electric stuff here for my auxiliary lights, and maybe even a little bit on the headlights. I've had a user ask about headlights, so we'll try to get into that. Otherwise, we're done for the moment. Hopefully the wind calms down here soon. Appreciate you watching today. If you want to keep up on what's going on with the tractor and life out here on our little homestead, just make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification, and of course I appreciate any likes and comments you might have. Otherwise, till next time, just keep on nourishing your dreams, cultivating your passions, and embracing the beauty of God's creation. Appreciate it. Hope you have a blessed day. We'll see you then.